Hello, hello everyone. Okay, I can see that I am online. Let me check my headphones. Cool. I hope you can see me, you can hear me well. As I mentioned previously, we are going to have conversations using live streaming channel. I will provide link to it on YouTube just in case. Could you please let me know whether you can see me, whether everything is fine with sound, and you can hear me, you can see my screen. Maybe you can put some pluses on my message. Okay, I can see at least one plus, and I need one more. Okay, cool. We have two pluses now. Good. So I think we are good to go. So what we're going to do today, pretty similar thing that we've done on previous live stream. I mean, 1 week ago, we are going to review your solution of second assignment, and we are going to discuss your upcoming assignment, Festify Crude API. Okay, your assignment for previous week was data processing CLI. So you had to, can we leave message for stream here? Yep. It would be nice if you would leave messages in live streaming channel, because as I mentioned previously, it's not very convenient for me to look in both places simultaneously. So I will mainly take a look at live streaming channel. I assume if you are if you are watching the stream, then you already participate in the course, and you are not someone from outer space, and you are registered in Discord as well. Okay, good. Let's begin. So previously in your first assignment, you learned some Node.js fundamentals. You've learned some basic Node.js API, but you were working with it in separation. So you called some streams API, some file system API, some operational system APIs, and so on. So it was time to stick it all together and build a command line interface application. So you had to implement a data processing CLI, which provides a user with some kind of persistent Node.js process. It asks user for input. It allows user to use several commands and some sweet and nice things like you can exit using .exit command or Control plus C. You have to see some message on exit. You have to be directed to your home directory at first, and then you are able to navigate through file system. So you had to implement several data processing commands like converter of CSV to JSON with ability to provide certain files. You had to implement the opposite converter from JSON to CSV. You had to implement commands that count some symbols, words, characters, lines in file, and prints output. Hash, you are pretty familiar with hashing already, and hash comparator command, encryption, decryption, and this is it. And also log stats analyzer, which is probably the most complex task for now. So, okay, good. We have a solution for review, and just like previous time, I left some comments. Maybe I will highlight something in additional. In addition, we are not going to focus on testing functionality, because this is what you will do during cross-check. We are focusing on reading the code and maybe checking how it matches with some best practices and what could be improved here. Okay, so today we have this solution, and let's check it from the very beginning. So we have our entry point at start script. So you can see that it starts application using src main.js file. Let's navigate to it. And I left several comments here. Let's switch to my version of this develop branch. Not a git. Why not a git? Probably wrong nesting level. Okay. First of all, I must notice that if you will take a look at package.json, you can see that type module is declared here. What it means? It means that we have two module system in Node.js, common JS modules. When you import stuff using require, you have this dir name, file name constants, and many other stuff. It's slightly different syntax, and it works slightly different from ECMAScript modules under the hood. But it was historically first module system. I mean, if we are not talking about some older stuff like AMD modules and so on. In Node.js, in modern Node.js, common JS modules are used maybe wider because they are older and we have some ecosystem built around them. But in modern application and in modern versions of popular libraries, tools, they are trying to switch to ECMAScript modules as much as possible. By the way, that's probably why test is better than Jest, because Jest has limited support of ECMAScript modules, while Vitest utilizes it fully. We are migrating our unit tests in RSApp to Vitest from Jest, by the way. Okay, so we have type module specified here. It means that Node.js by default treating JS files, files with extension JS, because files may also have CJS extension to explicitly mention that this is a common JS module, or MJS extension to explicitly mention that some kind of JavaScript file is ECMAScript module. So in ECMAScript module, useStrict is enabled by default. So you don't need this useStrict stuff, because Node.js already knows that it's running in strict mode. Next thing is the stuff I already highlighted on previous solution review, that you should use Node prefix for importing Node core module. So instead of importing from OS, you should import from Node OS. Instead of importing from path, you should import from Node path, and so on. And also another thing that can be improved, you probably shouldn't use import asterisk as something from your own modules. For some libraries, this is the only way to work with their interface conveniently, but you are owner of your own code, so you should import explicitly what you need. So if you are using here a welcome message, current dir message, app name, and so on, you can import specifically those constants from constants.js, and that's it. And also, it's not very it's misleading a little bit, because you have to sorry, not misleading, I'm wrong, but it adds some extra mental complexity. You have to remember what is C, what is K, what lies there, and we are using pure JavaScript, and IDE doesn't help us much, like with TypeScript case. So okay. So we have a main function here, which is the entry point of our application. We get home directory from OS home dir API call, which is correct. We print welcome message, current directory message, and we have utility functions like get current directory and set current directory. So classic getter setter. Okay, looks fine for now. So we instantiate REPL instance. Here, probably it refers us to readline interface of Node.js, but we will take a look at implementation of REPL shortly. And here we initialize our REPL. The only thing that I could highlight here that you have typo here. And probably you could use some kind of extension to your IDE, to Cursor, to WebStorm or to VS Code, something like spell checker. It will highlight to you these typos and you will be able to fix it quickly. Okay, so looks pretty simple for now. Let's dive into what REPL is. And it's not diving from here. Okay. Also, yeah, REPL uses readline under the hood, and also, once again, instead of readline, you should print node readline. Is project folder structure, we have question in live streaming channel, is project folder structure mentioned in the task description mandatory? Nope, nope, it was just an example. You could have a different structure. It was just an example how it may look like. Okay, what we are doing on instantiation of REPL class, we are instantiating readline interface. Using readline create interface, we provide it with process std in as input, process std out as output, and for prompt we have this. We will have this placeholder on the left side, and also then we call setup listeners. Setup listeners. Very nice name for the method, by the way. It does exactly what it says. It subscribes to certain events of readline interface, for example, line and SIGINT, because to reliably react to all the stuff, we cannot just check for pressing of Ctrl C or typing of exit command. We have to subscribe to event SIGINT, which means that sig integer this signal was passed to our readline interface using process std, and we should exit our application. Okay, this is the main handler of user input, handler of line event. So we trim line to avoid white spaces on the sides. If this is exit command, we exit application. Otherwise, we call function called handle navigate with users input and this getters and setters. And after that, we print current directory message. And then we ask only after we processed user's command. And I hope handle navigate is not resolved until we fully process user command. Because of the possible concurrency issues I mentioned on the previous assignment review. Only after that we ask user for new input using readline prompt API call. Okay, start, we prompt user for input, exit, we login exit message from login exit message to console, and then we exit process with zero code, which means that we exited our application gracefully. Okay, once again, named imports would be better instead of importing everything. By the way, it will be especially proficient if you will be working with some kind of runtimes that are limited in computational powers and especially memory. For example, if you are working with either functions or you are working with AWS Lambda, it would be better to have to have your bundle as much as possible. Specifically because of the fact that starting from certain size of your Lambda function code, you will not be able to see it in web interface. But we do not want to lose this opportunity. Okay. So we've seen handle navigate here. Let's take a look what it is. Sorry. And let's switch back to student's version. Okay. We can see that there are a lot of stuff. related to navigation, and handle navigate is processing commands. I left some comments here as well. Let's start from the very top. First of all, yes, you can use, I recommended you to use a premisified version of FS module APIs, and it can be used this way. You can simply import it from FS and import promises. But you can import from FS promises directly, and it would be better to use this syntax. And not only FS, but not FS promises. And just as always, I recommend you to import specifically what you need. Same stuff about named imports here. I will not spend time on it. Okay, here we have implementation of app action. We get current directory, get a parent directory name using pass their name, and if they are different, we are setting current directory we are setting the parent directory as our current process working directory. Okay, looks fine. No questions here. CD. CD is working using resolve pass. And we will take a look how it works later. So we resolve pass to directories that we want to navigate, and we take into account our current directory because pass could be relative. And if new pass is not resolved, we print operation failed. Okay, looks fine. Otherwise, if pass is resolved somehow, then we get stats about new pass. If this is directory, if this is not directory, we fail our operation, which is logical, okay. Otherwise, we set current directory. Okay, good. So stats probably should also check that we have access to this directory, something like stats, sorry, I forgot how it's called, stats, okay, probably it's a separated API call like access, but still, it was not mentioned in assignment, so this is not an error. ls prints content of current directory, so we read directory using readdir API. With file types allows us to see what kind of direct we are working with. And what is also good that we are not only checking, so we iterate over array of these items and check if item is directory, we push it to directory, otherwise we push it to file. What is good that we specifically check about is file, because I mentioned to you that it can be also symlink or even block device, even FIFO, socket, whatever. So we cannot just do stuff like if not directory, then else it's file. Okay, one small concern from my side. Every time you see that you need to create some kind of standalone variables with collections or objects or empty strings, and then you add stuff to it, probably you should use array prototype reduce instead of just iterating in cycle. It would do pretty same thing, but it will look cleaner. Okay, handle navigate. This function receives user input and getters and setters for current directory, and it maps user input to commands. So we have these actions. We extract a command by splitting user input by white space. And then we provide arguments and then we provide command and its arguments to corresponding command handler. Okay. Probably it would be better to perform some kind of initial validation of input. Maybe we have it in arg parser. Okay, input, output, null, safe, false. Okay, I don't get why do we need it. But I have a concern about naming, because handle navigate is located in navigation module. It sounds like it should handle only navigation commands, but in fact it handles all commands we have. So probably it would be better to name it handle command and put into corresponding domain, probably commands. Or I don't know, maybe some root level module. So, okay, what happens here? We checked, we parsed the user input, we checked whether we have a command for it. If we do not have available command, we print message invalid input, which is invalid input. Okay, pretty straightforward. And after that, we call action if we found it. Okay, in general, looks fine for me, except the fact that we probably could use named imports instead of this imports and everything. But okay, I promised not to tell about this stuff again. Okay, what we are going to take a look next? Uh, probably, probably, probably. I would like to take a look at utils. We've seen this arc parser. It parses command line interface input, and it trims input. It splits it by white spaces. It filters empty parts, and then we are manually parsing this stuff. So once again, probably you could use parse arcs function from Node.util module, at least for simple cases, but uh, it's up to you. Just in case, you can slice not from the very beginning of user input. You can get commands separately, and then you can pass arguments that are following command to parse args function. Maybe it could save you some code and help you not to write your own logic for parsing command line arguments. Okay, file exists check, FSP promises, I already mentioned how we should import it, access, if, why we return true here, because if we can't access file, access API call throws error, which we catch here. So we check whether this is we check whether this is file doesn't exist error. If file doesn't exist, we print corresponding message. Uh, Probably this is again out of scope of the assignment, because you only have to print a message that operation is invalid. You don't need to print a message that file doesn't exist. But okay, if you are going to print operation failed in addition, it's enough for me. File exists check, file not exists check, FSP access. Uh, hmm. It sounds to me that you need only one function, okay? So you can call file exists check function and invert it logically, and this will be your file doesn't exist check. And also about naming, functions should be named as verbs, so it should be something like check file existence or check file exists. So check action, not file exists check, because here check sounds like a noun. Okay, pass checker. I had some comments here. Here we have this without output parameter, but it's not used, so you don't need it. Okay, we get current directory, try to resolve it, and probably I have a concern about this pass join, because it doesn't always work with absolute pass correctly. So we have a better method in pass API for this case. I am talking about pass resolve. So I'm not going to make a comprehensive testing, because we have a lot of stuff to take a look at, but still use pass resolve instead of just joining pass, if you need to support absolute pass as well. Okay, if file doesn't exist, we return false. Otherwise, if we have save and output pass, we have file not exists check. Probably this is a little bit out of scope because we are not going to prevent overrides. It's some additional logic. Okay, if it doesn't contradict main assignment description, it's okay. Okay, and we have pass resolver, resolve pass. If pass is absolute, then we normalize it, and then we do in pass resolve. Probably you could use it in all the places where you need to resolve pass. Okay, we take a look at utils, navigation, constants. What about constants? It looks a bit weird, to be honest. Maybe I'm talking about student, maybe you have experience in some kind of other programming languages where such syntax is widely used. But what do we see here? We are creating object with certain properties. Mm. And then we do destructure assignment and exporting these destructured variables. It will be working. It will be working, but I don't see why we should do this. For example, if you need app name, you can just do stuff export const app name equals to data processing CLI, and it will be plain. It will be not nested. You will not use any braces for code, so probably it would be better. Okay, and we have typo here. Goodbye instead of goodbye. Uh, okay, these are students comments, app comments name. It follows a similar pattern, but it's probably fine here to group them in object. Okay, once again this destructuring. Okay, if you import it as separated, if you export it as separated variables using this syntax, probably you could do export const up equals to up. It would be just fine. Okay, we have up command keys that are computed, data processing flags, valid algorithms, stat results keys. Okay, syntax is slightly unusual. Yeah, and also password has trailing white space. Once again, please use spell checker for this. And it's not used, so it shouldn't exist anyway, but still try to pay attention to this, because this is also a valid string, but you may have tricky bugs that will not be highlighted to you by TypeScript. Okay, what is good here? That we avoid anti-pattern magic values. We have properly named variables for everything we need. So we have constants of valid algorithms, stat results keys, data processing flags, command names, and so on. So it is very nice. It will allow you to avoid shotgun surgery when you need to change some constant and you need to scan your whole code base for all the places where it's used. It's better to define it in single place, put it in some constant, export it using SDK or import directly if you have monorepo, but still it should be defined in one place and changed only in one place. Okay, good. Probably it's time. It is time to go to comments folder. Maybe, by the way, maybe you have some questions to what we've seen already. And let me drink my water. So I'm waiting for 5 seconds. If nobody is typing, then we move on. Okay. So we need to take a look at comments implementation. Let's follow assignment order. First of all, we need to implement a converter of CSV file to JSON. It accepts input and output, and we have some limitations that first line is treated as headers. Headers then become JSON object properties. It should use streams chain to avoid so it would be able to work with really big files and do not need to get all the file in memory at once, and it should transform CSV to JSON correctly. Okay, CSV to JSON. We have some unused imports. Not a big deal. In real world, in real world project, you will have configured linters that will highlight these errors to you. But still, do not leave in code what you do not use. Okay, we have this handler. U stands for utils. Once again, just import what you need. So we check whether path exists. I mean our input and output path. And if it exists, then we get input and output resolved input and output path. We create readable stream from input path and assume this is UTF-8. And after that, we define transform stream. From my point of view, it will not work correctly because in case, it will not work correctly in case of really big lines, because this transform stream doesn't take into account those chunk boundaries. So proper implementation is to buffer your chunks, correctly define end of line, and process only whole lines. So I assume that this will break if you will have CSV with long lines. So it will lead to data corruption on big files. Okay, also it tries to identify lines, headers, and so on. I also see bug in, not a bug, but misalignment with assignment requirements, because it has to be comma separated values. But here we split by semicolon. And same stuff here. But okay, we somehow got lines, then we process it. If we have some value, then we value that corresponds to header field, we push it to collection, and we set this flag to identify whether this is a first line or subsequent. And anyway, in the end, we call callback with error or without, depending on what happens. And final, I don't know this API call. Do we have Flash? Okay, I don't know how final API call differs from Flash. Maybe you can answer to me in chat. But okay, if it does what it has to do, put a new line at the end of the file, this is fine. Okay, also about this check for output path, this option is required according to assignment. So this save flag is not part of specification, so you should document it, and it shouldn't contradict assignment. According to assignment, output path should be always provided. Otherwise, it should be considered invalid input. After we after we ensure that we have output path, okay, just in a nutshell, you performed some calculations here. Okay, you opened readable stream, you created transform stream instance, and so on. But if you do not have output path anyway, you could just end here and do not perform all of this stuff. So you should check that this check exists, that input path is defined, and output path is defined as well. Otherwise, you do not need to proceed further. And this if is not equal check could be replaced with is not equal input pass and is not or is not equal output pass. So try to save some space and time by early exits. Okay, then we put all the streams together using pipeline API, which is good. It's a modern way to connect streams. And after that, we return new promise. We pipe it into transform stream. Mm. Hmm. I'm curious, why do we have okay. So student implemented it a little bit differently. If output pass is not provided, then we pipe our transform stream into processed out. And here we have a tricky thing. Because student used pipe API instead of pipeline and so on. So errors in this readable stream or transform stream will not be handled correctly. Moreover, if you want to handle these errors correctly, you should handle errors that comes from readable stream like this, and you have to add another error handling for errors that happens from on passing data from readable stream to transform stream. So please consider using pipeline API instead of this. But okay, it should work except for big files. Always pay attention to this and think about chunks. They can be split. You can even have split symbols. For example, some characters are 2 bytes and you need to handle this in production ready application. Okay, we are not going to build production ready application here, but still you have to think about chunk boundaries here. Okay, let's take a look at JSON to CSV. It does pretty same thing, but in opposite, it writes a line out of the object. Not sure we have to review something deeply here. If you are not using some argument, but it's required, you can just replace it with underscore. Okay. Buffer plus chunk to string. Probably you can just push to buffer if I'm not mistaken. Please check it. And after we pushed our lines of code, all our lines we call final, and there we are building correct CSV file. We get our rows, our headers, and then we put it in proper order. Once again, I'm not sure that it will be working on big files because you have a limited size of buffer, and if your buffer will reach out of free space, then you will not be able to process file further because you push to buffer all the time, and only on final when file reach input source reach end is reached, you convert data to JSON. And once again, output is required here as well, and same good and not so good things, just like before. Okay, count. Before we take a look at count, I need small break. You may write your questions about previous 2 comments, and I will get back soon. Okay, I'm here. Let's check for answers. What happened with the stream? Just a short break, as I mentioned. I'm here with you. Now, okay, let's move on. I can see that everything is good with sound and so on. Let's take a look at count implementation. So we need to count lines, words, and characters in TXT file. We specifically mentioned that this is TXT file to not overcomplicate the assignment, just to let you check some file inner stuff. Okay, let's see how it's implemented. Count.js. Okay, we check pass, get input pass, because all we need is input. And we have these lines, words, characters count, and leftover and last character. So on each chunk of data, we split chunk by new lines. And also we should think about last line, this because we have this, I mean, this is because when we split by new lines, we have extra extra chunk that we shouldn't take into account. And characters, we are talking about chunk lengths, because, well, obviously, sum of all chunks lengths is about characters count. Last character is what lies at the end. And once again, you can use, probably you can use chunk at -1. It's better instead of this length -1 thing. And okay, we split parts by white spaces because words are separated by white spaces. And if text doesn't match this expression that white spaces at the end, reminder that this is the end of the string, and this caret symbol is about beginning of the string, and slash backslash s is about maybe I misguide you. Let me check, because okay, yes, in JS regex, maybe it's regular symbol. Nope, I'm correct. It matches white space characters, not only plain white space, but also some stuff like new line and some different symbols that reflects empty space. So it's better to use it instead of just, I don't know, something like this. Okay. Good. So we get amount of words. Words are parts split by white spaces, and on the end of input, we if we have some content, we increase amount of words by 1, because if not only white space left, we definitely have something there. Also, if file, I noticed this thing, if file doesn't end with new line, file without this new line at the end will have 0 lines. So probably it doesn't match expected behavior. Please check on certain files. Maybe I'm mistaken, but from what I see from code, we may have this error. So okay, about login errors. We shouldn't provide user with some internal details. Maybe our user is a hacker that tries to break our application. So we should just say user, okay, dear friend, your operation failed, or you provided invalid input. We don't need to expose internal details, because we may help to break our application. So it's not secure. Okay, but in general, it would work. Okay, let's check next function, hash it calculates file hash. Okay, we check pass. We check that user wants some valid algorithms for hashing. I remind you that it's defined here in constants. So SHA 256 MD5 and SHA 512. And also about this shadowing, it's not a mistake, but you shouldn't name it's a bad practice to create variables with the same names as some variable in upper scope. Okay, I got it. From JavaScript point of view, it will work. Okay, so here hash is at upper level, and inside of this function scope, hash is defined like this. This is not an error, but it may lead to some tricky bugs or inconsistencies. So probably you should just name it like hasher or hash instance to separate it from your function name. About read stream for hash and binary files, la la la. Okay, maybe I'm wrong here, because we are working with txt files and we presume that it's about UTF-8. Okay, it was excessive. On getting data chunk, we update our hash. On end of input, we digest our hex, and we and here where did we provide algorithm create hash? Okay, we passed it here properly. Good. Also, I don't see where write stream is closed, ended, or destroyed somehow. So this may cause memory leaks. So probably you need to somehow destroy write stream instance on end of all of this. Maybe you can just call end here. But anyway, it's not working as it should work, because you use stream to write only one chunk. Instead, you should either use write file or write multiple chunks by stream. Okay, hash compare. I'm not sure that we need to pay attention to this, because you previously did something like this in your first assignment, and it's pretty similar to hashing function. So yeah, we have pass checkers here. Pass checker once again. Hash file. Okay. Okay, we check algorithm. We read file. Once again, previously it was read by readable stream, but here for some reason we read it by using read file. Okay, it should be readable stream as well. But okay, we are reading here only configuration file. Okay, here it's acceptable unless you will have multiple configurations, but we do not have it here, so it's fine. Everything else is pretty similar. And also blank line on the output. Yeah, I'm not sure why do we need this, because we print OK or mismatch, and if you are not doing process.std right, it automatically produces this new line. But maybe we want two new lines, not sure. Okay, let's take a look at the next command. Hash compare, we've already seen it. Encrypt. Okay, so we need to encrypt file, and we have some predefined output file format binary. First 16 bytes should be salt, next 12 bytes should be IV, then ciphertext, and then our stack as last 16 bytes. Let's take a look at encrypt. Okay, still all the stuff used in multiple commands. Probably you could extract it into some, I don't know, reusable function or wrapper to avoid doing the same stuff for all commands. But just a suggestion for improvements. Okay, so how do we calculate salt? We get some random bytes from crypto. I'm not sure this stuff is really random. Maybe it's pseudo-random, but for our purposes should be enough. By the way, a good point for you to check what true randomness is and why it's necessary in cryptography. Okay, so we get some random salt, some IV. Okay, you should use asynchronous version of PBKDF to sync. Probably it should be part of module. Yep, we already have it here, but it looks like it's callback based thing. But not crypto password or salt. Okay, I'm not sure what is properly here to import already premisified function or premisify it yourself, but using synchronous functions, it blocks event loop, so you should avoid it. Okay, then we create cipher, then we define readable and writable stream, and then we manually write salt and IV as first bytes. And after that, we pipe it into cipher, which works as transform stream. And and after that, we pipe it into write stream. And on end of ciphering stream, we create our stack and write it to writable stream. Okay. In general, looks fine. Probably I'm not sure, probably you could use pipeline here because you need to manually pass multiple error handlers here, but this way it also would work. I don't see major bugs here. Decrypt will be working pretty same. We get some information about file, then we should decipher our file in opposite. So we have some preliminary checks because if file doesn't match format that we specified, I mean specific amount of bytes for salt, for IV, for our stack, for and content in between, we should not proceed. This is a good example of early return. Okay, then we open file for file descriptor, then we allocate buffer with proper size for salt. Then we read this specific amount of bytes from file and put it into buffer. Then we do the same for IV, the same for our stack. And where do we get content? Also, for this calculation of key, you should also use asynchronous function if possible. Then you create a deciphering stream, transform stream, and read file. But you should read it from proper place. You should read only content because we already got salt and IV. And then we pipe this readable stream into transform stream, which is deciphering our content, and then using write stream, we write it to output. And on finish, we resolve promise. On error, we still resolve promise and print operation failed. And decipher also has error handler. Probably you could add error handlers to readable stream as well, because I don't see error handler for readable stream, because this error will catch errors from writable stream, this will catch errors from decipher stream. By the way, you could put it here as well instead of putting it at the end. Okay, fine. Encrypt, decrypt, we took a look at this. and log stats. Most complex thing, you should analyze a large log file using worker threads. You get some input, you get some output stats, and so on. Let's probably try to run our generate logs script. It was written by AI. Please don't take a look at code style. It was a simple script that creates for us some mock data. So I will copy paste it here to speed up the process. Script.js, and then I will run node script.js. Cannot find file script.js. Where are we? Readme src. Probably I put it at the wrong level of nesting. Okay, let's try again. Requires not defined. Oh my god. Okay, let's make it cjs script, not script cjs. Output files, lines. Okay, output it will be here. Lines, let's say 10,000. Eagle. Oh my fucking god. Let's try to do the same stuff with sudo. Eagle operation on directory. Okay. We need to provide some specific file name. Okay. Here is our log file with 10,000 lines. Okay, let's put it to proper folder. Log stats. Okay, input, output. Okay, what is the format of output? Let's check assignment. Because I don't remember it. To be honest, I implemented it myself, checked that it works, and output is JSON, input is txt. Okay, let's try it then. Logs.txt. So npm start cd js review cd Node.js. Okay, we have to navigate to proper folder. Let's navigate to inner folder. And let's navigate to the root of our application. Okay, good. So we are here and we can run some commands. Let's run our commands. Probably we had some useful tips inside of constants, if I'm not mistaken, that we can copy paste. Log stats. Okay. Log stats. Input is logs.txt. Output is stats.txt. Okay. We have total. From what I can see, amount of logs, total amount of logs is incorrect. Levels info 3258. Let's see. Info. Let's make strict check. Okay, amount is slightly bigger. let's check warn level logs. You can see this number, and for warn it's also slightly bigger, and for error logs, okay. IP users. Okay, IP users counted correctly. IP logout counted correctly. Users. Okay. IP payments. Slightly incorrect. Okay. Anyway, let's take a look at how it works. I will close everything. So we check our arguments just as always, and then we get CPU's length, and we define an array of workers. So probably we can make some performance improvement here, because for each worker iteration you open and close this file descriptor using FS API for start and for the end of this adjustment of boundary. So it means very big amount of file opens and closes. So probably you should open file descriptor once before all these iterations, and then reuse it, and then close it after all the iterations, because repeated open and close file, it will cost you some performance. Okay, so we repeatedly allocate necessary space in buffer, then we try to read some content for this buffer from a certain position. On new line, we count one more thing to the start, and then we break on this. If end is lower than file size -1, okay, and this was the end of okay, this should be end of the file. Then we open it and write this one chunk. Okay, and here we push array of workers. Then we resolve all the promises related to workers, because we wrapped it into promises. So it should, after we have these partials, all the workers should do their jobs. And then we calculate levels, statuses, paths, and so on based on data provided by workers. Okay, this is not very interesting. Let's check this comment I left here. Key status. Probably it was provided by worker, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check log worker implementation. Okay, process chunk. We create read stream. Read line create interface. As input we use stream. And for each lines, yeah, by the way, in case you should probably also pay attention to boundaries here, because in case of long lines you may see issues. But reading something line by line by using readline, this is a good way to go. Okay, nice. We skip statistic line keys number. What is statistic line keys number? Okay. How did you get this number? You have analyzed calculated logs. Maybe this is where your statistic breaks because you explicitly skip invalid logs, and maybe some logs were considered invalid. Okay, then we just parse string. Important thing here is that we get chunks line by line because of using readline interface. And this is just JavaScript. We parse string. Nothing interesting. Okay, so in general, it looks good for me. It looks good for me. The only problem is that from what I see, it miscalculates a bit, but this is just a case for debugging. You can provide it with some logs, check numbers, and then ask, for example, ask AI that, dear friend, please help me to understand this mismatch and where it comes from. But anyway, implementation looks good. Okay, so from what I see, it has some minor flaws with processing big files, adjustment to chunk boundaries, and so on. But in general, this is a good solution that works fine. And please be more attentive, like if you see comma separated values, it's comma separated, not semicolon separated. Please pay attention to the assignment. Okay, I will be waiting for some questions for you, and if we will not have it, then we will proceed with CRUD API issuance. Let me check. Probably I had some demo for you. I had Swagger for this. Okay, let me check the chat. From what I see, we currently do not have questions about this. So let's proceed with assignment. Okay, your next assignment is to implement CRUD API. CRUD stands for create, read, update, delete, basic backend operations, and you need to implement it using a tool named Fastify. This is a lightweight framework slash library. Not sure how to name it correctly because it's a kind of lightweight framework, but it's used as a library and tool inside of Nest.js. Nest.js works over Express or Fastify. So I decided that it will be good to get familiar with Fastify before working with Nest.js, because in some places you need to dive deeper through Nest.js abstraction to inner implementation, I mean to Fastify or Express request and response, and it would be nice if you will be familiar with Fastify. Because Express is good for fast prototyping, but we do not start new production projects on Express. It's slow. And Fastify, as it comes from its name, is faster. So you have to implement a web server which accept some requests, get, post, put, and delete request, get for read operation, post for create operation, and put for update, and delete for delete operation, obviously. So you are working with products database. All products are stored as objects with ID, name, description, price, category, and in stock. This is a flag whether a product is in stock. You can see required types and which fields are required for creation of objects. Request to some non-existent endpoints should be handled correctly. You should return status code not found, your favorite 404 error, and some corresponding human-friendly message. For example, the page you some path doesn't exist or something like this. If some error happens on the server during processing of the request, it should be handled and processed correctly. I mean, server should respond with 500 code and human-friendly message. And please, never expose internal server message to end user. unless this is some specific development mode on staging environment, something like this. User should not be, if user is able to break our application remotely, because this is web server, we shouldn't provide user with information about what they actually did. They should just receive 500 and we should fix it as soon as possible. Okay, your application is web server, so it runs on a certain port, and this port should not be hard-coded. It should be defined in .env file. And if you change it in .env file and restart server, it starts on different port. Also, you have to implement two different modes of running application, development mode and production mode. How it differs? Development mode has live reload. You can implement using node mode or TS node dev library. And if application runs in production mode, there is a script that starts build, and only after that you run your application from build file, not from source code. Also, as additional scope, you should implement some test scenarios, not less than 3 scenarios. And example is the following. You should implement some kind of integration or end-to-end test. Not sure which level is better for this case. So, for example, how end-to-end flow looks like. You get all records of products and you expect that array is empty because you haven't created anything. Then you create a new product by sending post API products request. Then you try to get this product by ID and you see that such product exists. Then you try to update it using put and check that updated object came to you in response. Then you try to delete it and then you try to get it again and see that this product doesn't exist. Also, as a hacker scope, you should implement horizontal scaling for application. How it works? This is synthetic and implemented for make testing of this solution easier, but you should implement npm script start multi that starts multiple instances of your application using Node.js cluster API. It works on top of child processes that you are familiar with. Don't worry about it, and it has a simpler API. So what's the idea? You should start amount of clusters, amount of instances of your server equal to number of available parallelism. This is pretty similar to number of CPUs, I mean logical cores, but it's slightly different. And one first should be host machine, your load balancer. Each subsequent cluster instance should be your worker server. So your load balancer should distribute requests across instances of your application, and user should be able to work with load balancer like it would be if it would be a single instance. But on the back of load balancer, there are several instances, and load balancer distributes requests among them. And what is important? You should maintain consistent database. It means that if you create something using first instance behind the load balancer, and that's why I I make it the way you see it in the assignment, that you those load balancer backed instances, they are working on different ports, so you can send requests to them separately. In real world, they share the same port. So this is just a synthetic example to make testing easier for you. So if you create something using one instance, when you get it from another instance, it should be there. And please do not send whole database across workers, across cluster instances on each request. This is not proper way to go. It's not scalable, and this is not correct solution. Okay, I have some Swagger UI, so I can show you how it should work. So, for example, we have running server, and we get response that we have no products here. Let's try to create some products. For example, we create demo camera with description, price, in stock, true. Okay, We execute it. Please pay attention that we got ID that is generated on server side. And the server responded to us with created status code. If now we will get all the products, we will see this product here. We can create another product even with the same data. Let's me try to create it again. Okay, it was created successfully, but you can see that these products, they will have different ID generated on server side. Okay, let's try to get some ID and get information about item with such ID. Get API products, product by ID. Okay, execute. We've got such information. On providing invalid ID. Sorry, we have front-end validation here. Okay, so let's provide valid UID, but not existing products. You can see that we've got status code not found with error product not found. Okay, we can try to update some product. For example, we can update price to 900 and 9,999 and in stock false. Okay, we were able to update it. You can see that we received updated price and its stock became false. If we will try to get this specific product directly, we will see the same data, so it works correctly. And we can try to delete some product by ID. You can see that there are two products in our database. Let's try to delete one. Okay, we've got no content status code and information that it means that the product was deleted correctly. And let's see that we have only one product in our database. Okay, good, looks consistent. Everything else like dev mode, build mode, horizontal scaling, I'm pretty sure you understand how it should work. We don't need to spend time on this. Okay, this is it about your third assignment. Do you have some questions about it? Okay, Andrei have questions, couple of clarification questions about CRUD assignment. Are we allowed to use Zod with specify type provider Zod to define schemas and derive TS types for the API? Let me check the assignment. Zod was not mentioned here, but probably it makes sense to add it here. Yeah, take into account, okay, let me add it explicitly. Zod. Zod and related Zod related libs. Good point, because Zod is a really good and cool way to validate your schemas, especially in TypeScript. It's TypeScript native, so it should be available here. Okay, let me commit it and let me add it to score. Accept 6. Okay, yeah, you are allowed to use Zod from now. Good point, thank you. The requirement mentioned using NodeMon or TS Node Dev for development mode. Since TS6 is also allowed, can we use TS6 Watch for start dev? Yes, you can use any tool from allowed to implement live reload. We do not have patch method, so we need to receive all properties in request body, not part of them. Should there be ID property in request body? No. First of all, it's not about query parameter, it's about pass parameter. Second thing, no, you don't need to send ID. And this is important thing to check. You shouldn't be able to override ID on backend. Okay, so even if you will send the ID in addition to other properties, it should work. It should not overwrite ID. You may update object, you may not, but still ID should not be overwritten. Good point about put. Put is designed to update product fully. Maybe in my demo it doesn't work correctly because it works like patch here with partial update, but you need to implement it like full update. Yeah, good point. My demo is not correct. So all properties to body, not part of them. Probably I answered your questions. Andrei is typing. I will wait. Could you also include T6 watch in requirements, please? But T6 is there, if I'm not mistaken. T6 is there, you are able to use it. It's right here. Six point, sorry. I'm not sure what I'm talking about because what from what I see in requirements, 6 point. Okay, let's check 6 point. Ah, okay, yeah, you're right. Let me add it here. Or TSX. Yeah, I mentioned that you can use it because I mentioned it explicitly. Let me check. It's only mentioned here. Okay, thank you for good point. As I mentioned, this is the first iteration of the course, so there may be some inconsistencies. Once again, if you see some discrepancies in assignment description, it should be treated in favor of student. Okay, good. So I think we can wrap up for now. Have a good evening, have a good night, and good luck with your next assignment. See you in 1 week, and please don't forget to send me your assignments for review. I've had a couple, but even if I don't mention it explicitly, you should send it to me. If you want your assignment to be reviewed on live stream, of course. Okay, good. So this is it. Let's wrap up. Bye bye.